It's morning, guys, and we're fixing to start on a new project today. I have a 2014 Chevrolet Silverado. Transmission went bad in it, so we've got to pull the transmission, have it rebuilt, and I'll get it back in there. So that's the video for today. With that being said, whenever we get this transmission out, the transmission for the LJ is done. So when I take this transmission, I'll pick up the one for the LJ. We've got this project. We've got another project to do with a 2015 Jeep Wrangler. We got to do a drive shaft and upper control arms, and as soon as we get that done, we're going to start on that LJ. We'll start pulling out the engine and start putting all the components together. I did get my wire set from Hot Wire. I've got a radiator on order, and let's see, I've got just about everything I need. I still need a couple little odds and ends like the transmission shifter cable, things like that. But we've got enough components that we can go ahead and get started on that project. First thing I like to do on anything is unconnect the battery. Don't need any type of electrical current going on any of the components while you're working on it. Push that out of the way. Close the hood. And this is the 2014 that I'm working on. So anytime I'm working with a truck this long and heavy, I get it on the rack, on the lift, get it off the ground. I do always like to give it a balance test, shake it around a little bit, go back under it, make sure everything looks good, because it's going to be on the lift for quite a few days. This is what I've got to do. I've got to remove the rear drive shaft. I've got to remove the front drive shaft. I've got to remove this cross member. Then we'll slide the transfer case off of it. I've got to take the exhaust system out all the way up to the manifolds, and then we'll start taking lines and electrical connections loose, and then all of these bolts around the transmission, see if we can get it slid back, take it out. It's quite a bit of work to get a transmission out, but it's not terrible. So now I can start working on getting this exhaust out, which will be 3 bolts on each side here. Loosen this clamp, and we should be able to get it out. All right, so I got the exhaust flange nuts off of it, which will be right here. There'll be 6 of them, 3 here and 3 on this side. Good idea is to spray them with penetrating oil the night before. This is not rusty at all, they came right out. The next thing I have to do is I have 4 of these oxygen sensors, 2 on each side. There's 1 here, 1 right up here, and you've got to unconnect them. So when they're connected, you have this little white slide right here. So when it's together, that white piece right there at my thumb will be forward. You just click it all the way back, press on it, and these come apart. It's not too hard to do. It's just sometimes space limitations get you pretty good. But right there, if I can get up there so you can see it without making you dizzy, that white piece right there, just click it back. I think you heard it click in the video, but click it all the way back, press on this, and it'll come apart. So I'll get those unconnected, unconnect that clamp right there, and this entire exhaust system will drop out. All right, now that the exhaust system is on the floor, we'll come in and I'll take out the rear drive shaft by taking those bolts right there out top and bottom. This will slide back out of the transfer case. I will take those 4 bolts there out. I've got to pop this metal clip right here off and slide this boot off, and it'll slide out. All right, so that end is loose. Now I'll get it off the transfer case. Next step is to get this clamp right here off. Sometimes you can do it with a screwdriver. Sometimes I have to get more violent with the wrench, but with that one I got with a screwdriver. It just comes off. And it should slide right out after I get this boot off. It's a little bit cold in the shop this morning. That rubber on that boot is wanting to be a little bit of a pain. Just like that. Now I can get the drive shaft up and slide it out. I got to slide it out. The rear drive shaft is going to be exactly the same. Take off those 4 bolts, and this one doesn't have a metal ring or a metal clamp on it. It'll just slide right out as soon as I get these out. On these bolts, I couldn't get the impact in there to get these off, so I have to do these by hand. But once you crack them loose, they're pretty easy to get out with your fingers. All right, so after getting those off, all we have to do is drop the drive shaft down, and it will slide right out. There's no rubber boot or anything on this one to get it to slide out. Hey, look, second shift showed up. Jason just got here, so
second shift.
I will try and make this video a little bit better. I've been doing it by myself on the tripod, holding it in my hands and that kind of stuff. So I will turn this over to Jason. Maybe we can get a little bit better of a video.
All right, let's see what Kevin's got going on so far. One shaft, cross member, exhaust.
It's gonna be 2 shafts. And now we have 2 shafts on the floor.
Ooh, look. There it is. There it is.
All right, clean it up.
You know what happens now. Clean it up before we move on.
Again, pop the white clip back, mash it, and it should come off. But this one's wanting me to struggle just a little bit. Yep, just wanting me to struggle. Same thing with this one. Push the white clip back. Oh, that's wanting to fight. Gotta let my hands warm up just a second. Need to get a little screwdriver to pop that one off. But the other things I've got to get off, I've got to take this shield right here down so I can get to these wires right here. Got to come around to this side. I've got to undo the shift linkage. I have to take this bracket loose, which is fuel lines. I have to take the transmission cooler lines off right here on this bracket and take them loose here. Actually, it's that bolt there. This comes out as an assembly. So we'll work on that and see if we can get all that done. Bit of a screwdriver. All right, after getting that white piece back with a little screwdriver, press right here. Right there. And it pops off. There's another one right here. This one has a little tab right here. Just pull it up a little bit with your thumb and it pops right out. So all of that's loose. We'll move up further and get some more stuff.
Now that's all your four-wheel drive actuator,
this is the transfer case. Yes, your transmission stops right here. This part is your transfer case. Your transfer case is what actually gives you four-wheel drive. You've got a drive shaft coming to the front and one to the back. There'll be a chain in here, and depending on where you put the shift linkage, move some gears around and it will lock the front up to give you four-wheel drive.
So if you're ever looking for the actuator motor, correct?
That is it right there.
That is it. Had to pull that heat shield off right there to access this wiring here.
Yep, and the wiring, got to unhook this right here as well. Can't get in there with this one.
And there's a little bracket up there holding it on. Sounded brittle, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. So that's how that comes out. Loosen up the little white tab on this again. It twists right up, slides out. Get your vent tube. Get it out of the way. In case you was wondering what I do with all my bolts, have a magnetic tray stuck right here. Everything sticks right there. It's all in one place. When we take this bolt loose, these lines right here will remain on here. So let me take this linkage and all loose on this side. We'll go ahead and take this bracket loose. Go ahead and unplug that. That's your vent for the transfer case. On this linkage here, we've got to pull this metal clip right here up, squeeze these tabs, and it will slide back. Remove that metal clip right there, push these in, it'll slide back and I'll be able to get that off. Or I might just take these two bolts right here out and take the bracket off. That seems like the better idea, just take the bracket off. Use my little Max stubby, it's a T40. And they are tight. Since it's aluminum, I may not take those off at all. I'm a little bit leery of real tight stuff. So let's go ahead and go with the first plan and take it off, leave the bracket on. Right here, they just clip on. Just get something behind them and twist and they pop right off. And slide that back and get the back side. And it slides out just like that. It's now about 9 o'clock. I started roughly 8 o'clock this morning, but it's time for a break. Ratchet.
Uh-oh, lost tool again.
Yeah, it'll fall off going down the road. So let's get this bracket right here off. It's a 10 millimeter.
Sounds straight. Looking over this truck a little bit during the break, and this thing's clean. All the boots in good shape, bushings, not a drop of oil anywhere running down the side of the block.
It's just too bad that the torque converter let loose is what happened. So the torque converter went bad, and a lot of times that will take out the front pump and the transmission, and we think that's what happened to this one. It'll go a little bit in reverse, won't go in forward hardly at all.
Yeah, look at how clean that is, guys. Not wet at all. What else got to take off, Kevin?
All right, I think we're about ready to put the transmission jack under it. We'll support it right here. We'll go ahead and take off this transfer case.
He's just itching to use the transmission jack, that's all it is.
New stuff. We got new stuff.
That's the only reason he wanted to do this, so he could get a new toy.
And look, it didn't come from Harbor Freight.
Can you believe that?
Harbor Freight don't have one of these. So if anybody from Harbor Freight is watching, dude, y'all need to get one of these.
Yes, absolutely. Nobody wants to lay on the ground and do a transmission. Needs air installed, Kevin.
Yeah.
Needs air installed. We'll get there eventually. Change of plan. Transmission jack don't go high enough just yet.
Yeah, so we are gonna drop this down some, but not right yet.
Putting a lot of faith in the little Hercules.
All right, so now we can take the transfer case loose. I'll have to do it by hand. I can't get the wrench in there.
Sure you got a wrench in there that'll fit it?
Quite certain. Icon.
How's it going up there, Kev?
Good. Love these wrenches. These wrenches right here are quite nice.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be hard to get at it any other way.
Yep. All right, that's 3 out of the 6.
Oh, it's too low. I don't like squatting down.
All right, so like I said, we've got it cracked loose. There's some silicone there. You just wiggle it. And work it out. I got one more bracket that I didn't see. Not really a black bracket, just a wire clip. All right, so now all the bolts are loose, everything's loose. We got it slid back just a little bit. I'll just pull it right out. All right, guys, so we got it on the floor. It wasn't all that heavy. Jason did stop to give me a little bit of a hand. It wasn't a big struggle, but safety is number one. Get this on the floor, safety for me, safety so we don't break the case. But it really and truly, it's not heavy at all. So another thing out of the way, we'll get the transmission out now. All right, so the next thing we've got to do is we've got to pull the starter, which is a couple bolts right here. We got to get rid of this plate here so we can access the torque converter bolts. There's 3 of those. We'll spin it, take it out, spin it, take it out, spin it, take it out, and then we'll take the bolts out of the transmission and see if we can slide that back. We still have to take loose the transmission cooler lines as well. So right here is the bolts that we've got to get to. Right there, it's the end of my finger. We've got to get that one, and there's 2 more. So we have to take that one out, rotate the flywheel to rotate them around so we can get them to that point. All right, so this is where you need that long extension. That way up there. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it is way up there. And this one I think has got it's a stud with an extra nut that holds a bracket. Take the bracket off and then come back and take the stud out. So there's the nut. We'll pop that bracket off. Bump my head. Push that up. And you can see under it.
Hat gravity.
That's the stud I gotta get out. Whew. It's like a $200 extension, I believe.
But worth every dime, right?
Yeah. They sell them at Harbor Freight.
We hadn't been in a day or two. Need to make a trip out there.
Today. We'll go today. We've got to go to the junkyard today to pick up the shift cable, an automatic shifter cable for the LJ project. All right, there it is. That's the last one. That fluid is pretty black, so it's I don't smell it, but it is very, very black fluid. It's not red at all.
And the customer just recently had a transmission flush done.
All right, so now what we've got to do is there's two studs. There's a dowel right here, and there's a dowel on the other side. That is kind of a, I'm gonna say it's probably a slip fit, but there's probably trash in there. So we've actually got to pry this bell housing back from the engine to get it out.
Is it done leaking?
I think so. We'll wrap a rag around it. Got it. Uh-oh. I didn't get it. Nice.
Oh, the little freebie's coming in clutch. More like gravity.
And it still works. All right, ready?
Ready.
Drop the jack down some.
Now our locks are on. Are we free of shaft?
Come out. Oh.
Dipstick.
Let it down. I'm gonna let it down to get the firewall. Pull back. Hold it. Put the jack down.
Hold on, we got a clip there. Oh, that's loose. Okay.
That's the bottom.
Sweet.
Roll. All right, let's raise the truck back up. It'll stay, get out from under it. back down for safety. All right, let's roll it out of here. Straight out the back. No, we're not gonna clear. Right through here, go through the side. All right, so we got the transmission out. It's on our transmission stand, so we'll unbolt it and we'll just manually set this on the floor. We'll get it taken over to the rebuild shop. All right, so the time has come to give away the Scottle, and we thought about all kinds of different ways that we're going to do this. So we had 4 that wants to play this game and get this Scottle. So whoever wins this Scottle, we're going to do a couple of extra things as well. We're going to give you 2 t-shirts as well. Whatever size you need, 2 t-shirts with our logo on it. The way we decided to do this is we have 4 players. Like I said, we have Steve, Vonda, John, and Bridget. I've got 4 washers here. The washers have 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the washers are the same. They all been used. I'm going to mix them up without looking, and I'm going to drop them from about right here on the floor. On the floor right here, I have crosshairs. The one closest to that crosshair right there is going to be the winner. We'll send it to you.
Hold on. Let me back up out of the way so we can make sure he does this right. Then we're going to zoom in on it. All right.
All right, so I have no idea where these washers are at. I got them all mixed up. Going to hold them long ways and just drop them. All right, this is the lucky winner. So I'm going to pick these 3 up. And here we go. So number 1 is Steve, number 2 is Vonda, number 3 is John, and number 4 is Bridget. Any guesses? Let's see. Here we go. Number 4, Bridget. Bridget, you have won the Scottle. That's it right there with a 4 on it. So congratulations. We will get you 2 shirts and the Scottle. Thanks for playing, guys. Thank you for watching the videos.